Mm-hmm.
Yo, yo, yo. So,
There it is. Go.
welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome today. We do have a special guest here on 7 Days podcast. You know what I'm saying? Where we do this 7 days out of the week. We don't miss no sleep. You know what I'm saying? We got a special guest today. First of all, let me introduce myself. I am your host, man, Mr. 7 Days, Mr. 95210, Mr. Acho, you know. So, man, we going ahead and we doing this big today, man. We're doing our first interview here with Burnlive. Man, I want you to introduce yourself, man. Tell the people who you are, man. Where you?
Burnlive LLC on Facebook. Burnlive LLC on YouTube. I do the Burnlive shows. I'm marijuana keeping you connected. Hashtagging these red eyes, changing the viewers' eye red, keeping underage smoking on social media. Definitely killing myself for your entertainment.
Right. Nice. Okay, so today is a very special episode, everybody, because today is our first interview. So let's clap it up for that. Let's give it, everybody give it a clap. Hey, I do want y'all to like, subscribe, and share this to your friends all across the globe, all across the world, all across the United States, man. Be a true patriot, okay? And share and subscribe and like, man, to keep the channel going up. And we are in the future going to get it to where you can donate to the channel, to support the channel, to keep the channel growing. Also, you will be able to do live interviews here. You know what I'm saying? You can DM me, you can write me on Instagram, 7 Days, of course, and you will actually get to come on the show. So yeah, we are going to be taking interviews from people. If you want to promote your brand, if you want to promote your business, you want to promote your, if you're a rapper, actor, you might be a punk bitch slapper. You whatever you want to do, you can come on here and promote it. Okay. So today we got the special guest, Burnlive. You know what I'm saying? It's really special because he actually showed me how to hook everything up, how to get everything going. So I am truly grateful for having this brother here today, helping me start the podcast up. And yeah, we just gonna go ahead and do his first interview. Have you did an interview before? Okay, so we're gonna take it back to the roots, man. We're just gonna ask you a few questions and stuff, you know what I'm saying, get to know you a little better. Like, okay, like, simple questions like where are you born, bro? Where was you born at? Like where are you born and raised up at?
I was raised in St. Louis, Missouri. I was born unannounced.
Unannounced.
Yeah.
Okay. St. Louis, how was it like growing up in St. Louis, like when you was growing up? How was it out there?
Um, dirty.
Dirty. Why you say it's dirty? Because it's the South or what?
Dirty because from one Midwest, we're not the South. We're nowhere near the South. We're the gateway to the Midwest. We're the first state that you touch when you're entering the Midwest. St. Louis, at the time of me growing up, Freeman Mosley Jr. with a government mayor during the epidemic of the crack era where crack was just kicking in.
Right.
Dirty streets. Dirty streets.
So he was in the 80s baby.
80s babies. I remember being on a street called California. I actually stayed on street California.
Okay.
And I remember driving a big wheel. I could have been no more than 4 or 5 years old. And It was a shootout.
Yeah.
My mom was like, boy, you outside on that, get in here, you on that big wheel. I'm still on the, you on the big wheel, you pop. You thinking this,
you thinking it's firecracker.
Fireworks. Pop. It's bullet hole, man.
Wow. What part of St. Louis you from?
South side.
The South side. Why is the South side always like the rough area everywhere in America? What's up with the South side? Something about the South side.
The roughest area in St. Louis had to be in the north side and the west side. Because that's where the huge gang banging is. Now the diverse side where it was really mixed was the south side.
Okay.
And South County.
Okay. But the real hood is in the north side.
The real hood was the north. Yeah.
Okay. So wow. So you was growing up young and seeing bullet holes and shots fired and like wow. Like did that traumatize you? Like growing up a little bit?
Nah. They didn't traumatize. What traumatized? No, they didn't traumatize me. What traumatized me was just being in one atmosphere because I was raised at first in Fairview Heights, Illinois, which was technically in Illinois. It was a nice neighborhood.
Illinois.
We had a swimming pool. Our neighbor was used to golf and stuff like that. So we was used to having things. And then yet again, during the era that I was lived in,
Right.
it kicked in, and then we had to move to the ghetto. And that was traumatizing.
Moving to the ghetto.
Moving to the ghetto was traumatizing.
Okay.
When you don't see bugs and now you see bugs and roaches and people acting like it was normal. Oh man, that's normal. That's little Larry. You know, my little baby be playing with him sometimes. We ain't got toys.
Yeah, it's rough. Okay. So okay, nice. So growing up in St. Louis, you know, you coming up in the world. Like, how was it like going to like high school? Did you eventually move into a better situation in high school, or was it just thug the whole time like growing up in St. Louis? Like
in St. Louis, in my era, most of the kids, we was diverse. No lie, we went to school. It was we were mixed, but to be honest, the most of the black kids was in some type of gang. Like
gangs.
You did. I was from the South Side, so you know what I'm saying. Most of the people on my bus was in a gang from their South Side blocks, and then when we picked up the people from the North Side, they was in gang. But I will say this:
right
when it did get on the bus, that was like it wasn't really brought up.
When you got on the bus?
Yeah, when like you got on the bus, it wasn't like, man, what set you from? What hood you from? But I heard that it's like that in California.
So where was the gangs at? Like in the streets? Maybe?
It
wasn't in the schools.
Nah, it was most street gang. Unless you went to a city school. I went to a county school.
Did you ever? So you went to the county school, so you didn't get involved in like the gangs and the stuff, that type of stuff?
Nah.
Okay. All right, nice. Well, I mean, that's always a great thing not to be in gangs. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, gangs is running back. Why do you think it's so much gangs in like the inner cities and like the black community? Where do you think all this gang stuff come from? Like to where, like you said, you mentioned California. Like, how did the gangs get from California to St. Louis? Like, how?
Don't be mad at me when I say it. Now, that came from when it came from trafficking.
Trafficking. Okay.
All the main source of drugs came from the coast, from either coast.
East Coast or West Coast.
East Coast or West Coast. Okay. And so therefore, we're gonna stick to the West Coast real quick. Okay. Y'all got the plug out there. Like no, we're not finna lie. I'm not finna sit up here and lie. It's y'all got the plug, Mexico. Right? Yeah. So y'all got too much of it. Mm-hmm. The Midwest, where we at, ain't got enough of it. Right. Y'all send them influence out. You know what I'm saying? It was influence before social media out. Right. Instead of sending y'all not finna send that bummy nigga. Hey man, her 2, 3. Or something. Right. Go to Chicago, go to St. Louis, go to Kansas, go to Kentucky, and
that's where they can get the work off.
Yeah, so you're not gonna send a bum. So you send what? One of your flyers,
boss
niggas. Somebody that's gonna make
leader,
money.
A leader, a gang leader, a drug dealer.
Somebody that's gonna
the freeway Ricky Ross's type of stuff.
Right, like
BMF.
Is it Mac Dre that was really popular in Kansas City?
Mac Dre was popular in Kansas.
Is it Mac Dre?
Mac Dre, yeah. Popular, yeah.
Very popular. And see,
that's where you got killed at.
If it wasn't for, and I'm just not lying, if I wasn't that, I wouldn't know nothing about Burner. Because when I went out there, out to Kansas City.
Oh, Kansas, okay.
Before I came out here, when I went to Kansas City, I was dumb to local hip hop West Coast rap. I didn't know nothing about them. Mac Dre and anybody local. Did not know nothing about it. But when I went out there, I'm not going to lie to you. Kansas City, Missouri, on the other side of where I stayed, bruh, heavily influenced by the West Coast. Now, they say they not, but I would disagree.
So you moved from St. Louis to Kansas City?
Yeah.
So what was different from St. Louis to Kansas City? Like when you moved, like what was the difference of the different cities? Like you growing up. Because now, how old are you? How old are you now in Kansas City?
I'm 40. Oh, when I was in Kansas City,
Yeah.
early 20s. Still young and dumb. Still a damn Democrat.
A Democrat. Okay. So you was a Democrat.
I'm still a Democrat.
Okay.
Still a Democrat.
Okay. So now you in like your 20s.
Yeah, I was in my early 20s when I went to Kansas.
So what was the difference? Did you like it better?
Hell nah.
No? Okay. I mean, you like the music better, right? You like to listen to Mac Dre? I grew up on Mac Dre.
I did not like listening to Mac Dre.
You didn't like Mac Dre?
I did not like listening
to
Mac Dre.
You never did this?
No. I thought that shit was totally dumb and stupid. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I can agree. I can see how you would think that. Now
but when I
get stupid.
But when I heard Burner's music,
like Burner,
it was like we smoke, we good smoke, good vibes, get money.
Yeah, get money.
Yeah, it was like his deliverance was cool. And on his album, he featured a lot of West Coast, and that's how, yet again, I learned about Nipsey Hussle. People like, how you know about Nipsey Hussle? I didn't know not Nipsey Hussle because Nipsey Hussle was on Burner, Urban Farmer.
Yeah, we talked about
Urban Farmer album.
I would like that city. Okay, so going to Kansas, so they pretty much put you on a lot of West Coast music.
Yeah.
So I mean, so you lived out there when you was in the 20s. Okay, when did you eventually get to Las Vegas and start podcasting and stuff like that? Like how did you get into Las? But let's talk about how did you get to Las Vegas, because we're in Vegas now.
Okay, so may he rest in peace, my boy Vader. You know what I'm saying? This is a good story, I guess. Okay. We cold day in St. Louis. Boy, my partner, heat went out. We sitting in the cold. We in the cold, bro. We in the cold. And I was like, bro, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of ain't really no jobs out here in St. Louis at the time. It's all this killing. Like, we selling dope. Like, bro, we selling dope. We selling dope, trying to do a record label. And at the time, I had 2 jobs.
Getting it off the block.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm not trying to be a superstar. I'm not trying to be out here. Right. Like, I was those ones that was out there on the block that was like, we need to stop doing this, man. This is dumb, man. Hey, man, you need just 20. Wow. This is stupid. We an asshole. How much you need? All right. Let me get that. But I was steady preaching this is dumb. So one day, it snapped on. Like, I caught an attitude.
You caught an attitude.
And me, big homie, Vader, sat at the table, just like we sitting here. We sat for 3 hours and just debate, like, man, where would you go? What state? And why? Yeah. And they was like, Mike, man, we don't want to hear you. You know what I'm saying? You on that white, you think you white and all that stuff. You want to probably go somewhere. I'm like, shit. A, I want to go somewhere warm. B, I want to go somewhere where I think where I can make money. And yes, I was on a switching over to the Republican side. I wasn't fully Republican. I just didn't want to try something new. I just didn't want to be a Democrat no more. So at that time, I could have stayed independent. You see what I'm saying? But I just like the Democratic shit is not working for us, bro. And being in St. Louis under this plantational mindset that we are on, that we can't do nothing, we can't go there, and all the jobs are super far out in the fucking county where you got to drive 2 hours, 3 hours on a bus. Bro, I ain't got time for that, bro. I want something different. So where y'all trying to go? Texas? And I gave them choices. I said Texas, Las Vegas, or Seattle, Washington. Or Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
And they was like, why Seattle, Washington? I said, Seattle, Washington. We looked it up. I said the minimum wage was $15 at the time that ours was, I think, 9 something. Right. It was still high. I said, living wage. I said, then I had friends that went out there.
Right. To Seattle.
Like it was nice. But then I came out here.
You came to Las Vegas?
Came to Las Vegas because I started working for Microsoft. You know, good job. Microsoft. Met up with this lawyer. Went to her house. We sat and talked, chilled, drank on some wine. She's like, bro, you can have this. Woo, woo, woo.
Right.
Like, I'm out here. I'm like, hold on. And I was out. I was gone.
Nice. And so you just came to Las Vegas?
I'm out here in Las Vegas, baby.
So now you in Las Vegas, and you said you wanted to be a Republican, or you was thinking about it. What? Let me ask you, what made you become a Democrat? How did you even get into like politics? Because I know your show, you talk about a lot of politics. How did you get into politics? Like, let's go back to when you was a Democrat. How did you get into politics as a Democrat?
Shenandoah, Botanical Garden, where you went and visited and seen that neighborhood.
Right.
That neighborhood did not cherish until after Obama's second term. And I was like, what the fuck? His first term, where he was more courageous with the black people. People was for him.
Right.
You didn't come do nothing for my neighborhood. And I'm in the hood.
He said he want to make change.
And that's what he preached.
So you believed it?
Black man. Obama was one of the smoothest talkers I have ever heard.
He's pretty smooth. He's real smooth. He's pretty
smooth. So I wanted to see that. I wanted to see that change. I seen that. I used to go out, I was like, hey, Jeezy, my Lambo, my president is black, my Lambo's blue. Okay, so that was out there. But the chains were still on black people's mind.
So y'all had some hope. He sold the hope. But when you thought about the situation you was in, it was hopeless.
It just
growing up in the hood.
You seen that. I was
no progress.
I was a young adult.
No progress in the neighborhood.
There was no growth. There was no job growth.
But you believed the dream in the beginning, just
because I mean, when
of the skin color of the brother Obama. That's when you got into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, technically, I was into politics when I left my mama's house. Period. Okay. Because at that time, I was into the Illuminati.
Okay.
And
conspiracy theory.
And it was like, as soon as I went downtown and I looked up and started looking at the buildings.
Right.
It was just like Illuminati here, Illuminati there.
Pyramids.
You seen all the markings. You seen the Mason markings. You seen the Gothic statue, and then start getting into the Catholic Church. I was like, okay, Catholic Church. Catholic Church is run by who? Who funds the Catholic Church? Why the Catholic Church is funded by the Democratic Party?
Right.
But y'all don't help nobody. And then I had a child.
You had a baby.
This what really broke it open for me. My baby mama took her and the kids, because at the time we was, I guess you want to say separate. Her kids. I had a son on.
Oh, son. Okay.
Took the kids and put them on national television.
What?
So I ain't gonna say sold they sold, but sold them out to the public for gifts and wants, because she went on a church program.
She went on a church program.
She went on a church program.
Your baby mama.
Baby mama. Larry Rice Show. Anybody look that up? Larry Rice Show in St. Louis. I seen the people and the benefits pour in and come in, and people felt sad, and they were like, here, give. And I seen nobody give.
Right.
I seen she didn't get nothing. I'm like, you took the kids and put them on. I remember what my baby mom said. You love the white people. You love the white man. The white man. The white man. You took my son and went on Larry Rice. That's a white man on a preacher show, on a Christian thing, to get benefits and nothing. And you got nothing.
Right.
Nothing. He's playing, and he runs with the Democrat. He sat up there in the office because, and the only reason I knew that, because after that, I started pressing the issue. And I think that's what really got it. That's really what got me into it, because of seeing that my son got put out there and played a political pawn and got nothing. I had to get to the bottom. I had to know everything. I had to know how the government work, why they working, who funding what. And
so you wanted a deep dive.
I went deep dive, bro. I was a homeless person. I became a mayor of a homeless community moving for a movement, and I was just trying to figure out the government scheme.
Right.
So I did whatever it took, however I can get up there. I knew I wasn't, you know what I'm saying, paper illiterate. I knew I couldn't buy my way in there. So I just spoke on the news. You want to get a government, a mayor, or government's attention, and you know you can't write them a letter, go to the news.
So you went on the news?
Bro, I went on the news every day protesting.
Wow.
Protesting, marching in the streets.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'll never forget that shit.
Wow.
Marching in the street protesting. Yeah, that's why I think that is why I'm so passionate behind it, because I had actually did my homework.
You were protesting against what?
The Democratic Party for not handing out money to the homeless or anybody. There's no way that y'all for anybody that's listening, in all 50 states, the governments are only allowed to get 33% of the homeless off the streets. Once they hit that goal, they stop.
Right.
That's why you understand. That's why you heard, the funds stop.
Right.
And you be like, how the fuck the funds stop? And y'all was just paying rent. And then you still paying people rent too, but you just can't pay mine because all of a sudden the funds stop. Because they at that quota. They done hit 33%. They're not ever going to clean up the street, because in capitalism, instead of the money going around in a circle, they want the money to go up and down.
They want the money to go up and down.
Yeah.
That's the Democrats for you. So you got deep into the politics.
Very deep.
Okay. So you started protesting against the politics. Then you moved to Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
What then made you say, all right, I want to be a Republican?
Now this is still back in St. Louis. What made me want to be a Republican was this dude named James. Shout out to James.
James, yo, shout out.
Shout out to James. James and I used to work for Ashley Furniture, where I drove trucks. We were driving trucks for furniture.
Okay.
On through the Midwest and stuff like that. And
James that be on here?
Oh,
different James.
I wish. So the homie got tired of listening to music. He like, bro, I'm just tired of listening to music, because we in the truck every day, get tired of listening to music.
Yeah.
And then he switched it up one day when we were listening to comedians, and he was driving, I was driving, and he always would look over. He's like, bro, you don't never laugh.
Right.
He's like, are you racist? Because he's like, I was like, what do you mean? He say, when the black people come up here, you never laugh. It's like, it's not funny to you. It's like, I was like,
the black comedian.
So
it's not funny to you.
It's not funny. I was like,
is that true? Is they not funny to you?
I really never paid attention, but I'm gonna have to just say yes. I didn't pay attention.
Kevin Hart
as a comedian, no, not funny.
Eddie Murphy
Raw was funny.
Okay.
So Mike Epps not funny.
Mike Epps
on stage not funny.
So he said that, and then what?
He said that, and he was like, then he went down a rabbit hole. You must don't like black people. And I was like, at that time, when somebody said that, I just fed into it because I got tired of people always saying that.
Why are people saying that to you? You don't like black people? Why would anybody say that to you?
Because I always
go against black people?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I only get into it with blacks.
Are you associating black people with Obama with Democrats? Is that like all the same bucket?
No. When I moved from a good neighborhood to a bad neighborhood, had my first fight. Right. First day.
Okay. It was with a black person.
Yeah. So my first fight was with a black person. Guess what it was over?
I don't know.
It was over gang
violence.
Gang violence.
Okay.
You think I knew anything about gang violence my first day?
Okay.
Do you think I knew anything about violence on my first day?
I guess not.
No.
Okay.
So I got on red and I'm on a Crip neighborhood. You think I knew anything about that?
Nah, I guess you wouldn't. I mean, if you was never raised around.
I wasn't raised around. I wasn't taught about it. So so that's my first.
So you
so that's
out there, you squabbling. You don't even know why.
I don't even know why.
Why are people trying to fight me?
I mean, now why is all of y'all trying to fight me?
So
why the whole neighborhood trying to fight me?
So was there no white people in that neighborhood?
No.
So just all black people.
It's all black. Okay. You didn't have white people unless you was 4 blocks over, but I didn't know that at the time.
So did you grow up with white people before that and then move into the black neighborhood?
I grew up in a mixed neighborhood.
It was
right?
mixed.
Yes.
Okay, mixed neighborhood.
But I never grew up in the hood until I grew up in the hood.
Okay. So it was mixed, and then you went to the black neighborhood, and then you got into the fight.
I had my first fight.
You was with the Democrats, and then you noticed that they wasn't giving out no money. So you was like, hold on, y'all try to play us. And so people will come up to you and say that you don't like black people?
People understood I didn't like black people because I always brought up the negative that black people did. And they was like, and people didn't think that was negative.
So how can you just only focus on the negative of a black person when you're black? Because
that's all I see.
You just see negative.
That's all I see is from the black people. It's negative. That's all I see. That's all I know. That's all I can tell you. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Well, they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So everything comes through your brain, through your eyes, through your perspective. So if all you see is negative, that's what you're gonna believe. You know what I mean?
If I see that,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all you see is negative.
If I see people, that. So if they trying to fight me, is that positive or negative?
That's negative. That's
okay.
Negative.
So my first few days of school, they trying to fight me there,
right?
Because the school's only 2 blocks over, and we all from this 2 blocks. We all
don't even know why.
And
they just want to fight,
right? So So now it's not good in my block. It's not good. It's not good in my school.
Let me ask you that first fight, right? Did you win or lose?
Fights?
Yeah, that first fight you said you got
fight. No, I fought the whole block. So no, I lost. Yes, losing. I lost.
You was losing.
I lost all of those fights.
Lost every fight.
I fight the whole neighbor. You done? Who are you? Who are you?
So you just taking L's after L's after L's.
All in one day.
Okay.
One day.
So you got a good beating.
Beatings.
Okay. So that made you kind of look at niggas like, man, y'all ruthless.
Like I'd kill all you niggas if I had a chance.
So let me ask you this. If that was white people beating you up, would you feel the same way about white people? You wouldn't like them, right?
I probably wouldn't. If they beat me up every day and bullied me and called me names and picked on me and terrorized me and chased me home and I shot up their school too.
We ain't gonna talk like that, but okay. So bam. So now that you're a Democrat, you're growing up in St. Louis, you're fighting gang fights, you don't like black people at the time because they're attacking you. They are attacking you.
They're attacking me.
They're attacking you. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever in your life, after hating black people, right? Did you ever find love for black people?
What is your definition of love for black people?
Well, love means an extreme likeness, or
I care for black people.
An extreme likeness.
I care.
So have you ever found love in black people?
Yeah, I dated a black woman.
So you eventually found love in black people.
I dated a black woman. 2 of them, 3 of them, 4 of them.
You enjoyed it, right?
It was cool.
So even though you hated black people, you still dated black women.
Yeah, I have a lot of black.
So were you telling your girlfriends like, "Man, I hate niggas," and these? That's when they broke up with you.
Probably, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. That's not a problem. Okay, well, because in life, things do happen, and however we're raised. We are molded in our minds of how things, but you know what? Nobody's story is perfect. Nobody is, it's all based on your life. Nobody has a perfect life. Nobody has a perfect opinion. Nobody has a perfect journey. You know what I'm saying? I think life is what you make it. When you got control of your life, when you become an adult, you kind of got control of life. You can make it however you want to. But yeah, most definitely things, your surroundings, most definitely, mold you growing up. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I want to ask you, did you eventually get out
Did I have black friends? Yes.
Yeah, but did you get out of the mindset of black people is bad?
Do I hate black people? Did I get out of the mindset of hating black people? Yeah. When I got political.
So when you got political, that made you love black people?
There's no such thing as, all of a sudden I started loving black people.
I'm saying you said.
I'm just being honest.
I know, but you said that you wasn't messing with them. So what made you come back into reality and say, you know what, there are positives about black people? What made you realize that? Like the positives.
The only positive thing that I realized that a black woman took her time out to adopt me.
Oh, so now you're getting deep. You was adopted. At what age?
3.
At 3. So it's something about the black woman versus the black men. Can you say it's a difference in how you feel?
No, because they about the same.
It's about the same?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't stand a black man just as much as I can't stand a black woman.
But you still have love because
I have more respect for a black man than I have respect for a black woman.
Even though you was adopted by a black woman?
Yes.
Huh, how does that work?
Because I have seen, and now I'm adult, and I've seen the traits of what happened and the reason why black people are not together. Yeah, I've got to blame it on women.
You blame it on women?
I blame it on women.
Okay. So, okay.
Number 1 killers in America. What you think?
I mean, my thing is you say you blame what on women exactly?
I don't blame. I said I have more respect for men than I do for women.
Why?
Because most men aren't killers than women.
There aren't?
Women are number 1 killers in America.
Is that true? Women are more killers than men in America?
There's more women killers in America than there are men.
Okay. Well, I mean,
if you look it up, they're not going to add abortion.
Oh, it's not.
If we add put in abortion,
you're talking about abortions.
No, I'm just talking about killing. Just killing.
Like murder? Is
murder.
that true?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, okay, that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. Okay, so you got more respect for the black man. Okay, and I mean that's an honorable thing. You know what I'm saying? I think it's really not about what I think, but like I said, it's perspective. It's perspective, and I understand. So so let's fast forward, man. So you came out to Las Vegas. What made you get into the podcast?
What made me get into the podcast was at the time when I came out here, Missouri wasn't legal in marijuana, and I had just started going to dispensaries and stuff like that. I'm like, man, this ain't back home. Ain't nobody seeing this back home. Right. People know about out of town, but you don't know nothing about out of town because at that time, none of my friends were traveling. So I was like, man, let me get on here and show people what's
going on out here in Las Vegas.
Because, yet again, everybody was coming to the strip.
Okay.
And nobody know about these nobody know nothing on these side roads.
Right.
Nobody know to go on Tropicana. That's the whole strip.
Yeah, that's another side. That's the west side.
But see, what I'm saying? Stuff like that. No, nobody.
Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know. They don't know nothing about that. So I was like, man, let me start making a podcast.
So you start podcasting just to show the people back home
about weed and rapping.
Weed and rapping?
That was when I first.
You was in music? You was into that?
I was really into weed and
you was rapping?
Well, I was freestyling.
You say you were freestyling, man. And you still got it?
Something like that.
Can we get a couple of bars? Can we get a couple of bars about you? It's something that you already wrote or something? You said freestyle now. So, Steve, we want you to stand on that. You need a beat?
I need a beat, Come
on, bro. Let's give us a couple of bars.
Nah, man. That's what I started. That's what I started doing when I first came out here.
What did you post it? Did you make any music videos and stuff like that? You have songs?
If anybody go to my page and go back, damn, 7 years, 2017.
2017.
Go back in the beginning. That's all we did. It was me, Juan, X, and now I rap. He told jokes, and then everybody else kind of stood around. We just smoked weed. It was cool because you know how people, how most marijuana podcasts. This is the weed I'm smoking at.
Right.
28 THCs and it's smoke smooth.
Hybrid.
You know what I'm saying? You go through all the flavors and stuff like that.
Right.
And it was cool. But I was just like, everybody doing that. And we all look And then my mama was like, y'all look dumb. Y'all look dumb. Y'all just look like potheads and just smoking weed. And that kept clicking in my head. And then I'm like, I want to show a side of pothead that we're not dumb.
We actually know some stuff.
We know some shit.
We know politics as well.
Right.
Just because we get high, that don't mean we don't know shit.
Right. Quit thinking that we smoking.
Yeah, people think that about me too. They see my eyes lower than a Chinese man, and they say, "Man, you don't know nothing," but they know, man. When they talk to me, they see I got the plan, so I do understand. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, for real. Because people that they think that people that smoke weed are stupid.
It's just dumb as hell.
So, especially if you've been smoking for years, you kind of know how to control it. So that kind of becomes just a way of life for you. Me smoking weed is like I'm damn near sober. It's like no difference. You know what I'm saying? So
and when I smoke weed, I like to. I ain't gonna lie. I like to investigate.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, back in my mama's house, me and my little cousin used to go smoke in the shed.
Mm-hmm.
And then we sit on the internet. You remember when we all used to share internet? And we like, man, we gonna share our internet because what you want to look up? What you want to look up?
Right.
And we like, all right, we gonna share it so we get the double hour. But I used to wait the overnight, man, and just look up so many Illuminati. Back then, they had these Illuminati tapes they used to put out.
I remember that about Jay-Z and Beyonce, stuff like that.
Yeah, but then they had the other ones that was outside of the music, where it went into the government and stuff like that. Because I remember a time that me and my cousin used to look at our uncles,
right? And
he used to look at his mama like, y'all Freemasons. I don't trust y'all. I'll never forget that. We used to look like, hold on, we never worship us.
Right.
And they were like, man, you don't know nothing about that magic. Man, I looked it up every day, man. I'm on the internet, man. Hold on, man. Look, hold on, look at this paper. Parents used to get mad. That's my print paper. You don't print it out, boy. Man, we back there printing out some shit, looking up some shit. Yeah.
So that's how you got into the podcast, and it kind of pretty much just evolved into what you was already into, which is politics. And that's why you got the Burnlive, the politics.
The Burnlive, yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you this, man. Let's go ahead and jump into the future. Where do you want your podcast to go into the future? We got the past, we got the present. In the future, what you want to do?
I really want my channel to grow. I really want to be one of the leaders of the political marijuana party. You remember how dude said the marijuana party needs to be political? Right. And I was like, when he said that, I understood what he said, like he wasn't making sense, but I was looking at that like, man, he's talking about where I want to push my type of audience. Right. I know there's people out there that smoke weed that think about political. I got a bunch of friends on Facebook and Instagram that got their own channels that's scared to talk about it.
Okay.
Now, Smoke Nation Worldwide, shout out to him. He talking about it now. He's a little bit unafraid to talk about it, but yet again, he's scared to talk about it. I'm not part of the program. The program will never offend me. What does that mean?
Right.
And when I asked that question, oh man, I'm gonna change the subject. No, don't change the subject. What that mean?
Break it down.
Why is people so afraid to express themselves? But then you got a podcast. You're here for peace, love, and harmony. But what peace, love, and harmony you talking about? Right. You just trying to put $1 in your pocket. That's why when I asked you that question earlier off screen, it wasn't really towards you. It was towards how I look at certain people, because I see people who's on here that been podcasting for years, just as many years, and they be like, "Oh, we grow, donate." I'm like, okay, but what is you doing? Peace, love, and harmony. I get it. I get that part, but you be really truly scared to interact with your audience. You get 900, 800 by yourself. You get 12, 13 when you are at the audience, but yet again, you don't want to set up no program. You don't want to organized. I'm like, man, you are in the world, because he's from Arizona. You know what I'm saying? It's a little small community in Arizona. It's like 3 or 4.
Who is?
It's Doobie Brothers, Smoke Nation Worldwide.
These are other podcasters.
These are other podcasters on Facebook that I mess with. You know what I'm saying? In a small circle. They had the circle way before me, and I noticed that they all used to be together because you hear the stories. You go on Doobie Brother tell you about a story, and then you go to Smoke Nation, he'll tell about the same story, but just from his point of view. Like, man, that story sounds familiar.
You're trying to like what? Try to duplicate that or do better than
that?
Not
duplicate it. It's just I see what it's about, and I'm just like, man, if we can just push the smartness out there, just show the educated side, just not sit up there.
So it's more about the education and learning, the teaching process on your podcast. You want to teach, you want to educate. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
Okay, I ain't mad at that. Hey, we need teachers, man. The teachers are the most important people in the country. We do need teachers. We do need education because a lot of people don't know a lot. So that's why these podcasts is really cool because we could go in here and educate people. You know, we could bring up facts. We could talk about different subjects, but it's really just to, utilize your brain. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to do here on 7 Days with these interviews with Burnlive right here. I want to make people think outside of the box, make people think in a different perspective. I want people, to utilize more of their brain. You know what I'm saying? And that's a beautiful story, man. And I wish you the best of luck, man, coming up on your podcast. You're doing good. You helped me get mine. So that just lets you know you on the right track, man. You on the right track, man. You're going to expand. It's going to get bigger. It's going to get better. And whatever I can do to help you, I most definitely will. You here helping me, promote me, helping me get me going. So anything you need my help, I most definitely will participate.
For sure.
So, yeah, man. So, yeah, man, we ain't going to talk your head off tonight, man. We just wanted to get to know you a little bit, man. And because a lot of people, they watch your podcast, but they don't know your background.
Nah, you know what I'm saying? I try not to get too personal on my podcast with me because then people, no offense, but people when they get a little bit personal with you,
right,
then they're like, oh,
they take advantage.
Now I know.
Now I know
you. Now I know you. Now I know why
now you. Now I got you in the chokehold.
It's like every time I explain myself, they always gonna look at that one angle that I said 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can't stand that. You tell a person you went to this elementary and they just swear they just know your whole family. Like, no, give somebody an inch and they take a mile. Like, no, I just gave y'all a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And that's all you know is that little bit I gave you. You know what I'm saying? Don't act like you just know my whole life story when all I just told you was just this. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people do that. So it is important to not put too much.
Yeah, because I had this one guy, and he would never debate me on her. And I would try to get him on her because, you know what I'm saying, you know how we do on live.
Yeah.
But he would always say that, hey, you the type of person that think like this. And I'm like, how in the devil can you tell me how I think when I just told you
what I think?
How I thought.
And you reword it, you twist my words around. They call that taking it out of context. So I understand that.
And I dislike that. And when you listen, and I've been noticing it on the news, and I'm definitely going to talk about this tonight on my podcast, is when we do listen to the news,
right?
They are biased with their stories.
Oh yeah, very biased. But yeah, politics, they do.
But
I did
not expect as much in the news coverage until I got deep into the podcast and wanted to see that. But now they do make me want to go back and listen to the ones in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Like, damn.
To compare.
When y'all told y'all story, did y'all really like, hey, this president right here,
They did the same thing back in the days.
They didn't do that for... The coverage I remember deeply was like Bill Clinton. Deeply covered. They didn't put that man down after he went to Lewinsky.
Yeah, he was part of the program, so they probably just, swept it under the rug.
Yeah. But still, when they brought up his image.
Right.
Even Obama, they never smeared Obama. Now, only thing a person brought up was he may not be black, he may not be from America. And that was by Hillary Clinton. She brought that up, and she didn't run with that. And she ran with that a little bit. Now, Trump did run with that hard. But you know what I'm saying? That was politics.
Right, yeah, that's politics.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't keep egging it on. He used as much as it was good. When he seen it ran out, he switched it up.
Right. Yeah, that's
Trump.
That. Hey, politics is. You know what? Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
You do okay. So on your podcast, you do the politics. You do the marijuana.
I do marijuana news, politics, and I really want to try to get back into the cop cam.
Cop cam.
I did like that.
Because you like the police or you don't like the police.
I'm fair. I'm right down the middle, but I am a police lover.
A police lover? How's that fair if you're a police lover?
Because I still like, if I see wrongness, I'm gonna call it out. It's just like in sports. I may got a favorite team, but I just want a good sports. I just want a good match. I just want a good competition. I just want a good competition. Right. The refs, you know the refs ain't gonna be perfect every time.
We need a ref. Even though you want your team to win, you still need a ref.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Just like off the air when I was giving you a hard time about the boxing. Yeah. But you know damn well sometimes that ref need to hop in there just a little bit quicker.
You seen he was hopping in there. He was waving off. Whoa. Terrence Crawford, Bud Crawford. You see they was waving it off.
Some of them, but sometimes he be a little twitchy. Oh, now let me call it out.
Yeah, you seen it. Yeah.
Oh, what is that referee dude that's famous for the big eyes, the black dude?
I know I don't know his name, but I know who you talking about. His eyes big like.
I want you. I want to be here when you interview him. That's somebody. He needs to be. That's amazing that he's never been interviewed or sat down.
That'd be fun.
That'll be. I got to be there, bro. You remember this video right there?
Oh yeah,
when you was right there and you had them big ass.
What did you
eyes.
see? What was you looking at?
Because I know you seen it all.
and you know what? He's a ref in a lot of fights, so he's very famous. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, man. We just wanted to get you on here, man, and interview you, man, and see you come up, man. And like I said, man, we're proud of you, man. You keep growing. We want you to keep succeeding, man. Do you want to shout anybody out on the podcast, man, before we head up out of here? Or shout yourself out. That's fair too.
I'll keep it real. James the Lone Star State, nigga, I'm gonna give you a shout out. Junkie, let me give you a shout out because y'all been holding it down, coming through. AP, you know what I'm saying? Sent you a while, but you was holding it down for me. I know you'll be back through the podcast real soon. And shout out to all the newcomers that's gonna be coming to the podcast, the new crew, the new vibe.
Right.
Oh yeah, I do got a new vibe. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get a little bit more laughter on the show, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It ain't gonna be too serious all the time. I know people tired of me being like, oh, he's so uptight. So we're gonna loosen it up. We're gonna laugh again.
Nice. And let the people know where to follow you at, and
Burnlive LLC on YouTube, Burnlive on Facebook, it's Burnlive. We're smoking weed, we're doing it live. That's why Burnlive is here. That's why we kind of just like he's 7 days. Yeah. This man works 7 days. He never sleeps.
Never.
You know what I'm saying? Even though he's talking about trying to get 4 hours after he get off here.
I'm tired.
I'm finna go home and podcast. So man, come follow me. He might jump on for maybe a few minutes. You know what I'm saying? Just follow on. But yeah, I got some things to talk about.
Nice. So there y'all have it, man. I told y'all we was gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? Support the channel. We got Burnlive Live. You know what I'm saying? We got Burnlive Live, man. I told y'all we was gonna do it. We're making it happen. Hold on, was that the Illuminati sign?
No.
What was that?
It's the hashtag red eye, keep it underage smoking on social media. Y'all know what that means. Now, people think it's the Illuminati. I
was like, hold on. Did you join? Because you was talking about the Illuminati. Did you sign up? We need to know. Could you show to us that one?
Bro, I need this. I need this recording. I need this somehow.
Oh yeah, most definitely. We're gonna save it. We're gonna send it to you. You gonna get it.
I need this.
Yeah, get it out there, man. But yeah, I want y'all to enjoy y'all day. You know what I'm saying? This is 7 days. We're gonna be coming with more interviews, more special guests, and I want y'all to please support the channel, man. Like, subscribe, and follow, man. And listen, donate too. We take donations here just to keep the the platform growing, okay? We need new equipment. We're going to do bigger things. We're going to have bigger guests. And like I said, y'all can DM me at 7days. It's 4Z's on 7days. You know, y'all can DM me on Instagram. All right, y'all can write me. Y'all can request to come on here, and we'll send you the link, and you can actually come and do an interview as well. You know, if you want to promote your brand, you want to be a rapper, you want to get your music out there, we'll listen to your music. Where you know, if you got any videos or whatever you want to do, man, it's kind of whatever over here at 7days. Man, we do this 7days. We want y'all. We want to thank y'all. This is our first interview. And man, I just hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day, man. 7days, we out this thing. Peace, blessing, and keep going. 7days.